Welcome to this video about flash start pricing. This video is intended for gateway distributors. That is, distributors of routers and access points who are then providing those to resellers and resellers finally selling to customers. If you feel you're looking at the wrong video here, please find the correct video according to your price list. The objective of this video is to help you to work with the flash start pricing model. I'm going to do that in a few simple steps. First, let's look at the basics of the flash start licensing model, and there are really four fundamental pieces to that. Firstly, we sell flash start licenses based on the number of concurrent users, and we'll talk more about what a concurrent user is later in this video. Secondly, each gateway product or router or access device requires a flash start license. Thirdly, the larger your flash start license, the more public IP addresses you have. You can see the relationship in the table. So if you have a need for more than one public IP address, please check the terms. And lastly, we expect distributors to sell in their home countries and not directly to end users. If you need a variation of these terms, please contact us. So let's move on to looking at the pricing tool. You need to log on here to cloud.flashstart.com. Then log in with the email address and the password you've used to request the price list. You'll see on the left hand side the price list bar, and if you click that, that opens up the price lists available. We can see links to two types of price lists here, the bulk price list and the gateway price list. We're going to look at the gateway price list first. So now the price list is opened up, you can see that we have a list of licenses, each relevant to a different number of concurrent users, 50, 100, 250, and so on. Each license is valid for a 12-month term, and you can see on the right-hand side your buying price from FlashStart, and you can also see the published price that your resellers or dealers can see and will expect to buy at. Finally, on the far right-hand side, you can see the published street price or recommended selling price for that particular license. Every license has its own code, and all the price information can be viewed in euros or United States dollars by clicking the appropriate icon. Let's now take a look at the bulk pricing. The bulk pricing is closely related to the individual license prices in the gateway price list. Here you can see that there are three products, bulk licenses for 1,000, 4,000 and 10,000 concurrent users respectively. These three packages can be sold to your resellers, and the reseller can split those up to sell them at a lower cost to their end customers. So I do emphasize that it's the reseller, not you the distributor, that makes the splitting. So the reseller can choose to break up a 1,000 concurrent user license into small licenses, say of 50 or 100 or 250 or 500 or any one of the individual gateway licenses up to the capacity that they've bought. The benefit for them is to buy licenses cheaper, and the resellers are also allowed to deploy these over a 2-year period. And each new deployment of a license starts a brand new 12-month period of service. I just draw your attention finally to the minimum order quantity and find more details in terms of sales here. So lastly, let's turn our attention to concurrent users and how to make the appropriate license selection. As a distributor, your reseller should be asking you for the licenses they want to buy. But from time to time, you're going to need to educate your resellers or answer questions. So there's two basic points to keep in mind. Firstly, if the routers or access devices are being very heavily used, then go ahead and recommend a license equal to the capacity of that router. So if the router has a capacity of 1,000 users, sell a 1,000 user license. Secondly, where the router is not being used to its full capacity, you need to estimate the number of concurrent users. Now, I'll stop for a second and just emphasize the point that we do sell based upon concurrent users, not total users. So the license price reflects the usage of the FlashStart tool which is the industry's fairest approach to pricing. And you can see in the table some guidance for how to estimate concurrent users. In a typical business or organisation, take the number of potential users and divide by 2 to reach a good approximation. Similarly, in schools and universities, divide the number of staff and students by 3.5. It's a bit more tricky in a public hotspot, so you'll need to make an estimation based upon the size and estimated number of people. So these are just a few scenarios, and some estimation and judgment is required to arrive at a concurrent user license number. But keep in mind one very important point. Flash Start will always filter all the traffic all the time, even if the license estimated size is wrong. So you can proceed with confidence to supply licenses, knowing that we will honour the estimated number of concurrent users, and we'll wait until the renewal point in the second year to realign any differences. So that's all for now. I hope this video has been useful for you. Please contact us to clarify any additional points.